Please rise for the invocation and the pledge. As we gather here this evening, Lord, I ask for your protection over our community. Let your peace reign in our streets, our homes, and our hearts. We pray for peace and comfort to the Mayor Chazet and her family during this time of loss. As we come before you today, we ask your guidance and wisdom as we discuss important matters for our city. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, can you do the roll call?
Councilmember Sell.
Here.
Councilmember Pappalardo.
Here.
Councilmember Stevenson.
Here.
Mayor Chazet. Vice Mayor Butlin.
Here. Okay, tonight is a special City Council meeting on this day of February 19th, and we have any deletions and amendments to the agenda? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Tonight we have a special presentation for Lucia Sheriff's Office on our 2024 year in review. Captain Israel and Lieutenant Cameron Tucker, will you please come up and present your report?
Good evening, Council. Madam Vice Mayor. I'm Captain Ben Israel. I am the new captain here in District 6. I assumed command in October. What we're going to do this evening is present the 2024 year in review. We'll discuss some of the significant events that occurred throughout the year, some of the community events that we took part in, and Lieutenant Tucker, who is my assistant commander, will discuss the important stuff, the good stats, crime stats, okay? This year, one of the first events we had was the community-hosted event of the Citizens Academy. As I scroll through this was the summer camp program we had with the children. During this summer camp, we exposed them to a lot of the specialized units we have at the Sheriff's Office. The motor unit, the SWAT unit, SWAT team, EOD. In July, we had our celebration, 4th of July, down at Gemini Springs. And here you see the team having a brief for that event. That event was very successful. And here you see me, National Night Out. This is actually the first night I assumed command here. And you see Madam Mayor there giving me the lay of the land. We'll move over to significant events of notes. And I will start it with video. I would like you to take note as you watch this video. It highlights a lot of good things the Sheriff's Office has, as far as technology, as far as the equipment that we have, and more importantly, the way our deputies are disciplined and have the ability to utilize de-escalation tactics. You're going to see several incidents in here where, had it been in prior years or in other situations, it may have been a life-taking event. And in these situations, it was a life-saving event.
Hey, do me a favor, so they're going to parade of patrol cars. I want somebody to hop down that side, block the road, and I want another car to come up over this side. Let's start lighting the inside of this up, but watch your crossfire. Once you kind of crest that front side, do not break the plane in the front of that truck. Yep. Off the front right portion of that headlight, yep. You are going to be our eyes. Mm-hmm. Understand me? Yep.
Get up close, Taser. Get up close, Taser.
Robert, show me your hands. Show your hands out of your vehicle.
Move up, move up, move up.
Pull the hands out of the vehicle. Get out of the vehicle.
Can you see his hands?
I can't see his hands.
I understand your leg's crooked. Put him on the truck. Put him on the truck.
What do you got in your hand? Drop that weapon. Drop that weapon.
Hey, make sure the watch commander's aware and put everyone on the same budget.
Autistic individual. We've had dealings with him in the past, and it seemed every time we had new involvements with him, it may have escalated a little bit more. This right here is a good example of good communication, good discipline, and coming up with a plan where we can actually take him into custody safely.
Put it down.
Oh, you the one that hit me last time.
Put it down. Come on, man.
I don't surrender, cops. Simple as that. I don't surrender.
You will hear several taser deployments. It really wasn't taking effect on him. They also used less lethal. And they were able to take him down. Secure him.
I can't move. Pull over. Back now. I can't move. Put your hands back. I can't move. You want pants up first, please, sir? You want pants up, please?
Central. 60. Keep your hands secure. I got a taser deployment and 63, and less lethal was also used.
Yeah, he's good. We're just gonna wait for a rescue before we put him there. Face the car. I'm facing the car. You're turning. Face the car. Mother.
He has been. It's on record. He's been every time he's in a meltdown. It's an autistic thing.
We're aware of that.
I will watch it and have it on me.
Can you back up?
Again, in this video, family members explaining that he is autistic, which we are well aware of. If you look at the subject size compared to deputy size, had it been one deputy against him, the outcome may have been different. So taking the time to get enough resources there, come up with a plan, and utilize the tools that we've had, he was taken again into protective custody without incident or harm.
The driveway, the male is inside the blue car.
Manny, Sheriff's Office!
Another incident,
Manny!
I would call it a mental health situation, where again deputies had a relationship with Mr. Manny, and this particular incident he was armed with a weapon, and this particular incident, had it not been for patience, for the good report that the sergeant had with him, and the tools that we had, the outcome may have been lethal. The discipline here with the firearm and less lethal, they came up with an awesome plan and took him into custody safely.
When I tell you, hit him with the less lethal, do not fire your weapons. Do you understand me?
Yep.
He takes 5 more steps. Weapons off him. No, not yet. Not yet. Manny, put it down!
Less lethal might go off. Do not fire your weapon.
Repeat, do not fire your weapons if the less lethal goes off. Take your fingers off that trigger.
Yep. You what?
He's getting too close, man. He's getting too close.
He's walking towards you. Get up there.
Go with the less lethal.
The chest with the left.
Less lethal. Rifles down. Rifles down. Keep going. Keep going. Move. Get down. Go. Guns down. Guns down. Guns down. Guns down. Get on the ground. Get down on the ground. Get on the ground.
Get on the ground. Yeah. I got the head.
Hi, Red Sergeant Stickles. How are you? That's okay. I was trying to get a hold of you. Hey, I'm just trying to get a rundown.
I can't
what
stress
branch
it
did,
enough, the
Chad
training
serve
that these guys do, the consistency
So a
with
couple
training
handguns and at least
would
one
make
like
this
AR-15
successful.
style
This is
rifle.
another incident with an armed individual who was suffering a crisis. The sergeant had a good rapport with this individual as well.
Telling y'all.
Able to communicate with him and have him come out without the firearm.
Who's the guy in the car?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
This is the 3rd day in a row he's driven by, creeping by my house.
Okay. Well,
And yeah, I did take 2 warning shots on my property, not at him. So am I being charged with anything? Why do you guys need me to be evaluated?
Stay around behind the house. Black male.
He got a long gun, guys. He got a long gun. Let me see your hands right now in that driver's seat. Let me see your hands. The passenger has the gun. Open that car right now on the outside. Open that car and step out with your hands up. Face away from me and step backwards towards this car right here. Step backwards.
So this particular case, Lieutenant Tucker will talk more about as far as significant events.
I need a perimeter set up too, guys.
But it was
Whoever's behind this house,
with
there's
firearms
fences and everything set up in this neighborhood behind the house.
Between
And be
the
careful.
Derry deputies and Deltona deputies, they did a good job tracking this vehicle down, making contact with the individuals. They took some guns off the street and some bad guys to jail.
Clearly. Yeah, can you send that video to me?
Okay, I will. So I think that this is the same guy.
Yeah,
The same
it's
guy
definitely
that
the same
with
guy.
another girl.
quick rundown. Felony battery charges, subjects in that shed in the back. It's like a small little home. They barricaded in it. It's only 2 ways out, and we have both ways so far. He's not getting out of there without us knowing. I need you.
I'm trying to be a good guy with you.
I'm trying to be a good guy, but I didn't do anything.
I
didn't do anything, man. I was at the all night.
Hey, Jeremiah. Bad cop. I'm relaxing, man. I don't want to be too right? Bend over to work. Here, Jeremiah. Right there.
Morgan? That was Morgan?
Yes, it was. So this case here, it was a battery/DV type case that happened on the other side of the county. That case ended up with us going to the house to attempt to make an arrest where this guy barricaded himself. And again, through patience, talking to him, we convinced him to do the right thing and open the door. Took him into custody safely. I'm going to turn this over to Lieutenant Tucker, and he'll talk to you about stats and some significant cases.
Hi, good evening. So as the video illustrated, there's a lot of things that the deputies that you have here in DeBary encounter that isn't just crime related. But getting into the crime, one of the things that most people care about is the amount of crime that happens in this city and the type of crime and who it was committed by. What I can tell you, and we'll look at the numbers in just a minute, but in most instances, and I tried to highlight it in some of the cases that I'm featuring, is that the cases are not being committed by people who live here in DeBary. It's something I'd like to stress. So what that means is the unique location of where DeBary is as it relates to the other areas of the county, it gets used as a pass-through in many instances. So the people aren't living here. They're not specifically targeting here. In one most recent case where we had a stolen vehicle during the daylight, I ended up catching the guy over in Sanford, and he didn't even know he was in DeBary. He thought he was in DeLand. Now, that's not to be an insult in the fact that DeBary is a great city, a wonderful place to be, but it's just small enough and quaint that people don't realize where they are. The criminals don't know jurisdictional boundaries, and they certainly don't pay attention to the city limits. So I like to highlight that. In this case right here, we had a stolen vehicle from 237 Cedarwood Court in DeBary. It happened back in February of 2024. Around 2 a.m., the victim's vehicle was stolen, and the deputies were able to make contact with the victim and utilize some technology and resources to track the vehicle. The vehicle was equipped with a GPS, but more importantly, the city's investment in some of the technology that partners with the sheriff's office is these license plate readers. You guys have them as a net throughout the city, and it captures a lot of things, which helps us verify the crime that we have and when it's occurring and where we need to be as far as resources. So, yes, the vehicle had GPS. However, the technology that was invested in by the city was crucial to this vehicle being able to be recovered in real time. We ended up tracking it up to De Leon Springs. We were able to make a coordinated traffic stop where we ended up arresting several juveniles, again, none of which lived here in DeBary. But the victim's vehicle was recovered undamaged, which is important to us because that makes the victim whole. They're able to get their property back the way that it was taken from them without any damage or any inconvenience to them, other than the fact that we had to give them a ride up there to DeBary to get it, or De Leon Springs. So it was a good case. This next case happened at 399 South Charles Arbiel, the Circle K there. Happened back in August of 2024. This defendant, Mr. Calloway, he is a transient from Seminole County who arrived here via the Sunrail. He didn't have anywhere to go, no place to be, and started wandering around, and we contacted him about 1 o'clock in the morning. Unfortunately, during the time of initial contact, we didn't have anything other than the ability to identify who he was, and he went on his way. Later that evening, he ended up going into the gas station. He distracted the clerk for a few minutes with conversation and then asked to purchase a vape from behind the counter. When the clerk put it on the counter for him to purchase, instead of tendering some form of payment, he decided to snatch it. There was a brief struggle over the item between him and the clerk, and he ran out of the store. Now, the clerk was not injured, but this meets the statutory criteria for a robbery, which is a forcible felony. He fled after about an hour and a half time frame where we were using a dog to track and a helicopter. We weren't able to locate him. Knowing from our previous contact that he had made it into the city via the Sunrail, we staked out the area, the platform the following morning, caught him going back to the train station to catch a ride, and we were able to take him into custody without incident. So it was a very quick resolution to that case, only about 6 hours in between the time of incident and his arrest. This next case is the vehicle burglary case from Rivington. I would like to highlight this case as the one from the video where you saw Sergeant King exclaiming that the passenger had exited the vehicle with a firearm and he was giving commands for the driver to exit. Now, in this case, they were at a house party in the subdivision. And after leaving the party, which the party in and of itself was not a problem, there was no complaints or issues, they decided that they were going to go and try and break into cars. And during this time, they were armed with firearms, and we got good descriptions from the homeowners in the area. That subsequent video where he's standing at the front door looking at the Ring doorbell footage, those were with victims that were in that subdivision. That, coupled with the technology invested in by the city, we were able to track the vehicle leaving the subdivision, leaving the city, and then identifying it entering a location in Deltona. We were able to make an attempt to stop, and the occupants bailed out in a front yard and ran in directions. We recovered multiple firearms, which included 2 AR-15 style rifles and several handguns. One of the defendants was an adult, and the other 2 were juveniles, none of which reside in DeBary or in Volusia County for that matter. They all reside in Seminole. Their only purpose for being here was a party in that subdivision. Again, this highlights the importance of the investments made by the city in the technology that we have. It almost on a daily basis results in us being able to solve a case quickly, which in many instances is the most important part about solving it, because that's how we're recovering the evidence, we're recovering the property for the victims, and getting these things swiftly rectified. Moving on into some statistical categories, we got some traffic operations I'd like to highlight for 2024. Throughout the year, we do some high visibility operations during the daytime and at the nighttime, where we join with the partners from our other districts in the motor and traffic unit, and we focus on areas where we receive the highest amount of traffic complaints or where we have had significant upticks in crashes or, and God forbid, a fatality. During those operations, it yielded 291 traffic stops. This is all just in DeBary. We participated in others outside, but just in DeBary alone, 291 traffic stops, which resulted in 308 citations, 6 FI cards, which is a field identification information card, 13 arrests, and out of those 13 arrests, 7 were for DUI. It's a great way to showcase the teamwork between the personnel that are here in DeBary, as well as the other areas of the district. We did it again, specific for New Year's Eve, and that traffic event yielded 265 traffic stops, 90 citations, 29 of which were criminal citations, 17 arrests, and 7 more DUIs. So that's a lot of activity in one night. It is in no way encompassing the driving patterns in the city, but it's a good way to make sure that people are behaving and following the law so that we can keep traffic incidents low, which brings me to my next slide, the traffic stops. So I want to indicate that the totals for just the city have the asterisk next to it, so it'll be the second number. So the first number is our district total, which incorporates the Orange City area. So for the year in the city alone, we conducted 5,083 traffic stops, issued 3,132 citations, and an additional 2,646 written warnings. Speaking of reducing traffic incidents, last year, we only recorded 286 motor vehicle crashes in the city, which is down from the year before. So what we're doing is a partnership with the city and designs for new businesses and the schools and everything that we have is helping us, along with the traffic enforcement and the investment that the city made in expanding the traffic unit. It's paid dividends in the amount of incidents that we're having related to traffic. So I'm proud of that. Additionally, we had a total of 354 misdemeanor arrests related to traffic and 46 felony. What that means is during the course of a traffic stop or a traffic crash investigation, some sort of criminal element was present, whether somebody had a suspended driver's license, the vehicle was unregistered, they were driving under the influence, or they fled from us, or some other violation that would be correlating with traffic crash guidelines. Going into this next slide, can the council see the printout? Is it blown up enough for you guys to see the numbers? All right, so I'm going to take you guys on a little journey, and I want to make sure that I don't miss anything, so forgive me. The top of this sheet says January 2022 through December 31st, 2022, compared to the same periods in 2020 and 2021. The reason why I've incorporated this is because in that time frame, we were under a different uniform crime reporting standard, which only held 10 crime classifications under a hierarchy system, meaning that if you had a theft, you had a burglary, you had a fraud, we only used the burglary because it was the highest offense within that single event. Now, we are under a system where there's 27 crime categories that we have to report. So looking at the numbers, in 2020, there was a total of 287 Part 1 crimes. That number reduced by 10 down to 277 in 2021, and reduced again to 224 incidents in 2022. So you see the trend, it was going down. We were having less crime. Well, when I switch us and a couple more slides, it will look like it's more, but it is not. So this next slide here encompasses January 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2023. I want to highlight that period because that is the first half of 2023, wherein we were still under the old crime reporting standard. Effective June 1st of 2023, we switched. The number of 101 is on pace to still be a small reduction from 2022. So we were still trending downward in the amount of crime. But when we get to this page here, it may look confusing and wouldn't be able to understand because this is a 6-month period where we have these new crime categories. And that instance shows 284 Group A crimes, which now replaces the old Part 1 crimes that you were looking at before. So again, here's the old. You have 10 crime categories with a Part 1 classification. Here is only showing you just the Group A, which is part of 27 total crime classifications, and it is now titled Group A. So even though it shows 284, we were still trending downward for crime in 2023, having less total instances of crime. And during that 6-month period, we had a 77% clearance rate, which we spoke about last year during the review. So to kind of break it down again, just to make sure that everybody understands, the old way of doing business, if you left your garage door open one night, you had your car parked inside, and somebody went into your open garage and then went into your car, then stole your wallet, then went down to the store and bought themselves something, we would have classified that as one single crime incident and it would have been listed as a burglary. Now we have to record the residential burglary, we have to record the vehicle burglary, we have to record the theft, and then we have to record the fraud. And God forbid you went to more than one store, we got to record each subsequent fraud. So you can see how one victim, one singular event relates itself to now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crimes, which makes this total Group A number exponentially higher than it looked when it was under the old UCR classification system. So we're still trending downward. I'd like to highlight the percentage rate of clearance for these crimes at 77%. The highest national average is about 41%. So we're a little less than double the national average for total crime cleared. It's an outstanding feat. It's a testament to the training, the equipment, and the leadership that the Sheriff Chitwood provides, but also the partnership with the city. You know, we've met with the city manager and the council in the past. We've asked for things. We've been given things. Your forward thinking and your partnership with us and the sheriff's changes has paid dividends in what we're able to provide for the city. So we can't thank you enough for your partnership and the things that you're helping us provide, and it's paying dividends for your city residents. Here are the numbers for 2024. So during the 2024 calendar year, we had 180 total persons crimes that we had to report, and we cleared 157 of those for an 87.22% clearance rate. For your property crimes, we had 164 reportable incidents where we cleared 83% for a percentage of 50.61%. For the crimes against society, we had 100, I believe that says 150, where we cleared 145 for a 96.67% clearance, for a total crime total of 494 incidents where we cleared 385 for 77.94% clearance. That is outstanding. We're very proud of that, and we look forward to continuing that as we move along. And that's it. Thank you.
Any questions from the council? William Sell?
No, I just want to thank you guys for setting the bar really, really high. Most of the complaints I ever receive is speeding, and I'm sure we're still the safest city in Volusia County anyway. So thank you.
Councilmember Pappalardo?
One of the stats that we usually get in an email after these meetings is what share of traffic citations were for residents versus non-residents of DeBary. And it's been trending in the low 60% for non-residents, that most of our traffic incidents are related to people cutting through because we're trying to manage the congestion. Of course, it's very frustrating. So if we could see that number later, that'd be wonderful. It's very front and center in my mind.
Okay.
Councilmember Stevenson?
No questions, but thank you for your service. I know many years ago, the discussion of body cams was out, and we could see with these videos and also in our discussion before the meeting about your training and de-escalation how much that really has improved service to our community. So thank you.
I just want to say thank you very much. I was at ComStat. If you haven't seen the ComStat meeting from last week, it's been recorded, it's online. And to hear the cases and the resolution and the clearance that we have is absolutely awesome. Has that scoring gone national? Is that a national scoring now instead of the one event? It's like 4 or 5. Is that a national thing, or is it just us?
No, it is something that's national. So you have NIBRS and FIBRS is what it's called. So that's the National Incident-Based Reporting System, and then the Florida Incident-Based Reporting System. They mirror each other, but kind of similarly to law, you can't supersede federal requirement. So with that, they have to take into account that every in the continental United States, the 48 states here, excluding Alaska and Hawaii, because their stuff is just different. Each state calls crimes different things. So, for example, in the state of Florida, we classify an assault as a threat, not a physical action. I mean, it's by word or action making a threat against somebody, and they believe that person that made that threat through their word or action has the apparent ability to carry out the threat, and that threat is imminent. In Georgia, an assault is actually striking somebody. In Florida, we call that a battery. So that's just one example. But because there are, trivial differences such as that, they have to find generic things that they can kind of dump crime into to say, yes, this is similar in Florida as it is in Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, to say that we had this many of this type of incidents, we had this many of this type of incidents. So they're having to do it. How they code it on the state level might look a little different, but when it gets input into the national system, it would be the same as how we're having to do it. I can say that there are a lot of agencies, there is a lot of areas that are behind us in terms of implementing this, because there was a pretty large period getting accustomed to what you had to do before you went live with the reporting. So we're on the forend of that. We got out ahead of it. We made the changes necessary, got everything implemented, got the training out to everybody, and started using it much sooner than some other places did. So I would think that, within the next year or so, the rest of the country will catch up, and then more numbers will be available for comparison.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate it. I was expecting an ask tonight. I don't know what you guys are asking for. I'm sure the sheriff will let us know.
Well, Mayor, if I...
Go ahead.
Yep. So I just wanted to brief you a little bit. We are going to be working on some additional enhancements for next year's budget regarding some additional LPRs. We have met with the sheriff and the crew here, Captain and Lieutenant, to strategically place a few more to help us that. We like to tout we're the safest city in all Volusia County, if not Central Florida, right? And we always tout that, if you commit a crime in DeBary, there's about 80% chance that you're going to jail. And so that's certainly a deterrence. And we work on specific enforcement programs, and so we'll be getting some of those soon. And I understand I've met some of your deputies at lunchtime today. They were doing a little traffic sting around DeBary as well today, and so these are things to curb behavior and make sure that the residents always follow the speed limit and understand, and it keeps the safety down. And keeps the crime down to where it's on a manageable basis. So, and it's really, really working on, as you see here, the behavior starting to change. And I tell all our folks, please don't speed through DeBary.
Yes.
And that's the truth. And so follow the laws on all traffic and crime things, because it will affect not only your pocketbook, but it's also going to affect your way of life if you don't follow the law.
Yes. If I may, to just expound upon the city manager's comments, 2025 is going to be a busy year for us in terms of things that we have planned. So there's going to be quarterly operations during the daytime, the nighttime, focusing on everything from traffic enforcement to nuisance complaints and violations that target the quality of life for your residents. So I don't want to give it all away, but we'll be happy to report it as it happens. And to address Councilmember Pappalardo's comments directly about tallying residents as opposed to non-residents who were cited. We're working on a technology methodology to track it in our system. So the tickets are uniform traffic citation, which is statewide. It looks the same no matter which county you're in. It wasn't naturally set up to differentiate that information based on where you lived. So we're trying to manually do it with our information technology section so that we can give you guys those numbers. I can just say from the manual tabulations that I've been doing for searches in preparation for this meeting, it would most definitely be more in the 30th percentile of the citations being issued going to the city residents. The influx of violations are during your commuting hours, to and from, and then on the weekends, that 4 or 5 hour window after everyone has slept in and the stores open and events start is when we see the violations. So they're not from here; they're passing through, and there might be a wreck on the interstate. They might be going directly into Sanford or coming from. Most of it is Enterprise, Dirksen, and Charles R. Beale. Obviously, we have complaints elsewhere that we deal with and we target, but that's the bulk of your percentile of your city residents is the inner streets where we get our complaints. You know, Shell, High Banks, Fort Florida, the Vista Streets, Plantation, things like that. That's where we're seeing the city stuff. So the big problems out on the main roads, they're not from here.
One more question I wanted to ask you. On the mental health side, are these houses identified with autism, adults,
I'm
and
glad,
children?
I'm glad you asked. That's a great question. So we have a system within our computer automated dispatch program to place hazards or identifiers on locations where we have individuals who might need special recognition for a disability, an ailment, or just previous history that would dictate a different type of response. For the instance that you saw with the gentleman with the hatchet, that was the 4th time in 45 days that we had been out with him. He had previously injured a deputy, tearing his rotator cuff and breaking his arm. And he had also previously severely harmed his mother and attempted to harm 2 other deputies on a previous occasion. This occasion, you saw him wearing the tactical vest. He was armed with a hatchet, so he had ratcheted up in terms of his violence. And as the captain had said, it's a testament to the pre-planning and the knowledge, and then having that system. So that shift that was on that night hadn't dealt with him before. And they were able to note the previous instances that happened there and the identified triggers for him and who we could contact to get information or assistance in calming him down and containing him so that he was able to be taken into custody without too much of an issue.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're all good? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looking forward to continued. Yeah, we appreciate it and looking forward to more services from you. Okay, moving on, going to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion. I'm usually the motion maker, so someone else
Move
has
to
to do
approve the
it.
consent agenda, items 1 through 3.
Second.
Councilmember Papalardo?
Yes.
Councilmember Sell?
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Going on to new business, the Parks and Recreation Department is requesting City Council approval to renew the DeBarry Babe Ruth agreement.
Good evening, Council. Jason Scheitz here, your Parks and Recreation Director here with the city. So we're on the 3rd year of this particular agreement. We renew it annually regardless of the term, but this is the last one for this actual agreement. No changes this year. We still have a long-standing positive relationship with the league. We're actually working on an upcoming project with them, doing the new dugouts that were part of the budget this past year, in which the league is funding the majority of that project through their sponsorships, and that's kind of their way of giving back to us and the facilities and whatnot when they have the ability to do so. And we're going to kick off the season this weekend with the opening day ceremony. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe Zubel. He's the current president of the league. He's just going to talk a little bit about the program, and you're welcome to ask questions if need be.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Council. First and foremost, I want to thank the entire council and the city of DeBarry for your continued support of the West Volusia Athletic Club. This past year has been an amazing year. It's been my first year as president, pretty much this month, and we've made a lot of adjustments to just how we operate and get back to residents quickly, and lots of positive feedback that we're getting from the league. So I appreciate the continued support. We hosted All-Stars this past year for Babe Ruth in June. We took 9 out of 13 championships at the district level. Didn't do so well at state, but it was nice that we represented in our hometown. We had the privilege with Councilman Sell to go to the Daytona game, the Tortuga game for DeBarry Orange City night. and he graciously invited myself and my son out onto the field to represent the league. So thank you for that as well. As Jason just mentioned, we have our upcoming dugout project that is planned to happen this summer at the Keller Fields, and then the Sullivan Fields. We're working on our reserve now with our sponsorship program. This June, we have a handful of the long-term scoreboard sponsorships that we'll be selling as well, and that money will all go towards getting the 2 remaining dugouts at Sullivan up to the same standard. So I just wanted to thank everybody tonight, and if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay. Any questions? Councilmember Sell?
No.
Councilmember Papalardo?
No questions. Thanks for running a great program.
Thank you.
Councilmember Stevenson?
No questions, thank you.
I just want to say thank you for your continued cooperation with the city and working together. It's been a great opportunity to have that. I don't have any further questions, so at this moment, I would take a recommendation.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2023 through 2025 DeBerry Babe Ruth Agreement renewal.
Second.
Councilmember Sell?
Yes.
Councilmember Papalardo?
Yes.
Councilmember Stevenson?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Awesome.
Got it. See you Saturday.
Thank you. Yes, welcome to our. You're welcome to join our opening day Saturday from 3 to 8:30. We'll have stuff for kids. We have a great setup this year, and really looking forward to bringing some more money to help fund the Sullivan project, but more importantly, so the kids could just have some fun and show off what they've been working on. So thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to council member reports. Councilmember Sell.
I won't mention the tank ceremony. I think that went really, really, really well. Good feedback from everybody. It looks so good in that area there, that spot. It's like it was just made for that tank. I couldn't be happier about the whole situation. I'm going to take your temperature tonight. I know Karen's not here with us tonight, but I know you guys probably heard that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. About 3 weeks ago, Sheriff Chitwood had approached me, and he was trying to get some souvenirs for Jalix Hunt, who was born raised in his hometown, the city of DeBerry. So we have a Super Bowl champion that was born and raised in DeBerry. I found where his mom works. I know it sounds like I'm stalking, but I found where his mom works. I gave Carmen all the contact information. I am not going to be the one that approaches her to see if we could have her here at a meeting and maybe present her with what the sheriff's office gave me tonight and present her with some city stuff in recognition of her son, which those kind of folks are few and far between to win a Super Bowl. Being a local athlete and her living here or close by and being a teacher in Lake Helen, I thought maybe we could have her in at a city meeting and present her with some stuff from the city of DeBerry and give her some recognition. So I wanted to see if you guys would be on board with that. I know Carmen could do the legwork. I don't think it's going to take much effort to see if we could have her here one night.
Is there anyone in opposition of it? Okay, looks like you got to go on it.
Okay. All right. Carmen, you have the information. I have the stuff from the sheriff's office, so if we can get her in here, we can get her some stuff. So thank you, guys.
Councilmember Papalardo?
A couple Saturdays ago, I got to attend Gateway's Youth Celebration of the Arts, brought the family, the kids, had a great time. Gateway Center really creates a lot of opportunities for some talented children, and we're really lucky to have their partnership. So should attend that next year, everyone that has a family that is interested in seeing what Gateway's all about. We got a real gem.
Councilmember Stevenson?
Well, it's that time of the year again. Kitten season has arrived. Just the other night, one of the volunteers that had come out and given us the presentation, they went and picked up a couple of newborn kittens. So if you see kittens or mama cats or any other stray cats, you don't know where they're from, contact the DeBerry TNR group and they'll come help us out and get them trapped or vetted so they don't keep having kittens out there. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Well, I attended, Carmen, Shari, and I went to Tallahassee, very successful in talking to our representatives up there. I also attended the tank ceremony, which I thought was great. And last night was our very first, this class, Citizens Academy. So we had a good group, asked a lot of questions. It was very nice to see, again, the variety of people who've been here a year, 30 years, 41 years. You know, it was just interesting to have that gap. So looking forward to the next couple of weeks of that. And tomorrow I've got a Team Volusia meeting, and we've got the Babe Ruth on Saturday. So there's a couple of things coming up that we need to just stay on top of. City Manager?
Just one or two things. Just let you know that we were approved at ECHO for our pickleball courts. That will actually will be on our next year's agenda, but we got approved for our pickleball courts. That's going in front of County Council March 18th, and so we'll know whether that endeavor there, and then we'll have to budget for it. It's a $220,000 project, 110 from the city and 110 from the county. So there were only 4 applications for ECHO this time, 3 for nonprofits, and we were the only city. So congratulations. We continue to utilize our tax dollars and get a significant return on investment. 50% return on investment, or 100% return on investment on all our projects. But unfortunately, we're the only city that applied, and so we were approved. So we're going to the March 18th, so we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, March and April are going to be extremely busy. Some of the projects that we coming forward with our mobility plan coming forward in March and April that we'll have. As you know, we were required to revisit our mobility plan by ordinance, and so we've been doing that particular study, and you're going to see some changes coming in March or April. And so other than that, we'll get really busy here. I know it's been light this month, but and then we get into budget season starting in late March, maybe April.
Yikes.
And we'll figure out what kind of process you want, what kind of strategic planning process you want, what strategic initiatives that you might have that were not already on the list. But our projects are going really well. The Fort Florida Road is done, obviously. The fire station is on schedule to be finished in September. The bids for Alexander Island will be in by the end of the month. So we'll be going through that particular process. Hopefully by March 19th or first meeting in April, we'll be awarding that particular bid. And then you can probably count on a 60 to 90 day mobilization, and then we'll get started on that project probably sometime in, I would say, July or August. We'll get started on Alexander Island. And so some of our major projects are moving forward, and we'll look forward to getting those accomplished. But that just gives you a little update for right now.
Awesome. Hearing nothing else, we stand adjourned.